Welcome to Earth, Astra, Principal Clark's voice echoed. Let's hope you're ready for what comes next. The sleek alien vehicle descended into the high school parking lot. As the vehicle's door slid open, Astra stepped out, her luminescent eyes scanning the sea of staring faces. Her silver skin shimmered under the morning sun, drawing gasps from onlookers. Principal Clark, a tall man with a reassuring smile, approached her with an outstretched hand. "Welcome to Earth, Astra," he said warmly. "Let's hope you're ready for what comes next." Astra nodded, feeling a mixture of excitement and apprehension. Beside Principal Clark stood Lily, her assigned guide for the day. Lily's eyes sparkled with curiosity as she introduced herself. "I'm Lily, and I'm here to help you navigate Oak Ridge High," she said, her enthusiasm evident. As they walked through the main entrance, Astra was bombarded by the sensory overload of the bustling school environment. The hallways were a flurry of activity, with students rushing to their classes, lockers slamming shut, and the mingled scent of various perfumes and cafeteria food lingering in the air. It was both overwhelming and fascinating. Their first stop was history class. Astra found herself seated next to Lily in a room filled with curious gazes. The teacher, Mr. Thompson, began a lesson on human exploration and achievements. Astra listened intently, her eyes wide with interest. She marveled at the stories of ancient civilizations, human ingenuity, and the spirit of adventure that had driven humanity forward. Throughout the lesson, Astra felt the weight of stares from her classmates. Some were intrigued, while others seemed skeptical. One student leaned over to his friend and whispered, "Can you believe we have an alien in our class?" Ignoring the whispers, Astra focused on absorbing the new information. Despite the occasional pang of confusion, she found herself captivated by the sheer diversity of human history. Lunchtime was a different experience altogether. The cafeteria was a cacophony of noise and activity. Lily guided Astra through the maze of food stations, explaining the various options. Astra hesitated, overwhelmed by the variety of dishes. Lily handed her a slice of pizza with a grin. "Try this. It's a favor around here," Lily suggested. Astra took a tentative bite, her eyes widening in delight. "This is delicious," she exclaimed, earning a chuckle from Lily. As they sat down to eat, more students approached, eager to meet the new alien girl. Astra found herself at the center of attention, fielding questions about her home planet and culture. She answered as best as she could, her natural curiosity and openness endearing her to many. However, not all the attention was positive. Across the cafeteria, Mara, a girl with flawless hair and designer clothes, watched with narrowed eyes. She approached their table, her tone dripping with sarcasm. "So, how do you find our humble school, Astra?" Mara asked, folding her arms. Astra met her gaze calmly. "It's very different from what I'm used to, but I'm enjoying learning about human culture," she replied. Mara smirked. "Just be careful. Not everyone is as welcoming as they seem." Lily shot Mara a warning look. "Back off, Mara. Astra's just trying to fit in like everyone else." Mara shrugged and walked away, her friends following close behind. Astra felt a pang of unease, but was grateful for Lily's support. The afternoon brought science class, a subject where Astra felt more at ease. The familiar principles of physics and biology provided a comforting bridge between her world and this new one. Mrs. Enon, the science teacher, noticed Astra's enthusiasm and engaged her in a lively discussion about interstellar travel and advanced robotics. "Your understanding of these concepts is impressive, Astra," Mrs. Enon remarked. "I think you'll find our technological advancements quite intriguing." Astra smiled, feeling a sense of accomplishment. Despite the challenges of adapting to a new environment, moments like these made her feel more at home. Gym class was the final hurdle of the day. The gymnasium was filled with students stretching and warming up. Coach Stevens explained that they would be playing basketball, a popular human sport. Astra watched as the students divided into teams and began to play. The fast-paced physical nature of the game was unlike anything she had experienced before. When it was her turn to join in, Astra struggled to keep up with the rules and rapid movements of the players. Despite her natural grace and agility, the competitive nature of the game proved challenging. Noticing her difficulty, Jake, a popular student who had been wary of her earlier, stepped in to help. "Here, Let me show you how to dribble and shoot, Jake said, demonstrating the techniques. Astra appreciated his help, though she felt a bit out of place. As the game progressed, she began to understand the strategies and movements, even managing to score a point, which earned her cheers from her teammates. By the end of the day, Astra was exhausted but proud of herself for facing the challenges head-on. As she and Lily walked out of the school, Astra felt a growing sense of belonging. She was starting to form connections and understand the complexities of human life. However, as they made their way to the parking lot, Astra noticed a figure lurking in the shadows. A chill ran down her spine as she recognized the dark, piercing eyes of a stranger watching her intently. She quickly looked away, trying to shake off the feeling of unease. "Everything okay?" Lily asked, noticing Astra's discomfort. Astra nodded, forcing a smile. "Yes, just tired." Astra struggled to catch her breath in the gymnasium, her unfamiliarity with human sports evident in her every move. The gym echoed with the sounds of students dribbling basketballs, their sneakers squeaking against the polished floor. She watched them, trying to mimic their movements, but her coordination was off. She stumbled, barely catching herself from falling. Jake, noticing her struggle, approached with a friendly smile. "Hey, need some help?" he asked, his tone genuine. Astra nodded, grateful for the offer. "That would be great," she replied, trying to mask her frustration. "This is all so new to me." "No worries," Jake said, demonstrating how to dribble the ball. "Just follow my lead." Astra did her best to imitate his movements. Though still clumsy, she began to improve with his guidance. "Thanks, Jake," she said, smiling at him. "I appreciate your help." "No problem." "You're doing great," he replied, his encouragement bolstering her confidence. After gym class, as the students dispersed, Mara appeared, her expression cold. "Trying to show us up with your alien tricks?" She sneered, her words dripping with disdain. Astra took a deep breath, trying to stay calm. "I'm just trying to learn," she said evenly. "Like everyone else." "Yeah, right," Mara scoffed. "Just stay out of my way." Before Astra could respond, Jake stepped in. "Back off, Mara. She's just trying to fit in. There's no need for this." Mara glared at Jake but said nothing more, turning on her heel and walking away. The tension lingered, but Astra felt a surge of gratitude toward Jake. "Thanks for that," she said quietly as they walked to their next class. "Anytime," Jake replied. "Don't let her get to you." Astra and Lily reported the suspicious man they had seen to Principal Clark later that day. In his office, the atmosphere was serious. Principal Clark listened attentively, his expression growing more concerned with each detail. "We'll increase security around the school," he assured them, "and I'll personally look into this. Your safety is our priority." Astra felt a bit more at ease after speaking with Principal Clark, but the unease from earlier still lingered. That evening, she spoke with her father, the ambassador, sharing her concerns. "You did the right thing by reporting it," he said, his voice calm and reassuring. "We must stay vigilant, but don't let fear overshadow your experience here. Building bridges takes time and effort." "I know, Father," Astra replied. "I'll do my best." "That's all anyone can ask for," he said with a warm smile. Determined to make a positive impact, Astra proposed the idea of a cultural exchange club to Principal Clark the next day. He was enthusiastic about the idea, offering his full support. "This could be a wonderful opportunity for everyone," he said. "Let's make it happen." Astra and Lily worked tirelessly to promote the club, inviting students to join and explaining its purpose. The response was overwhelmingly positive. Students were curious about Astra's world and eager to learn more. The first meeting of the Cultural Exchange Club was a success. Astra shared stories about her home planet, describing its vibrant landscapes and advanced technology. The students listened, captivated by her tales. Jake and Lily were by her side, encouraging participation and asking insightful questions that drew others in. Even Mara attended, though she stayed at the back, her expression unreadable. As the meeting ended, Astra felt a sense of accomplishment. She had taken a significant step toward bridging the gap between their worlds. But the sense of being watched hadn't left her. Later, she and Jake decided to investigate the mysterious man further. They managed to find clues that hinted at an interplanetary plot. The more they uncovered, the clearer it became that someone was trying to disrupt the cultural exchange. "This is bigger than we thought," Jake said, frowning at the information they had gathered. "We need to be careful," Astra agreed, "but we can't stop now." Unexpectedly, Mara approached them the following day. She seemed reluctant but determined. "I noticed something too," she admitted. "I don't like you, Astra, but I don't want anything bad to happen here either." Astra was surprised but nodded. "We need all the help we can get." "Thank you, Mara." Together, they formed a fragile alliance. As they continued their investigation, they discovered a hidden device in the school's basement. Its purpose was unclear, but its alien design confirmed their suspicions. "We need to inform Principal Clark," Jake said urgently. Astra nodded. "And my father. He needs to know about this." That afternoon, the school held an assembly where Astra was scheduled to speak. She shared more about her home planet, emphasizing the importance of understanding and cooperation. Her speech was well received, and she saw many students, including some of Mara's friends, visibly move. During the Q&A session, a student unexpectedly asked about the device. The question sent a ripple of tension through the room. "We're looking into it," Principal Clark said, stepping in. "Your safety is our top priority." After the assembly, they met with Principal Clark and the authorities, revealing everything they had discovered. The man in the maintenance uniform was identified as an agent from another alien faction, sent to disrupt the cultural exchange and sow distrust. "He won't be a problem anymore," Principal Clark assured them. "We'll make sure of it." The final confrontation came swiftly. Astra, Jake, and Mara worked together to deactivate the device. Using their combined knowledge, they managed to neutralize the threat. As the agent was detained and taken away, Astra felt a mixture of relief and determination. She had faced significant challenges, but had also found allies and strengthened her resolve. Astra stood at the front of the classroom, her heart pounding with anticipation. Today was the first meeting of the Cultural Exchange Club. She had spent the past few days preparing, determined to make a positive impression. As students filed into the room, she saw a mix of familiar and new faces, including Jake, Lily, and, to her surprise, Mara. The atmosphere was thick with curiosity and a hint of skepticism. "Welcome, everyone," Astra began, her voice steady. "I appreciate you all coming. The purpose of this club is to learn from each other, to share our cultures and experiences. I'll start by telling you a bit about my home planet." She clicked a button on a small device, projecting holographic images of her world onto the wall. The students gasped as they saw the vibrant landscapes, towering crystal structures, and luminescent flora. Astra explained the significance of each image, weaving in stories of her people's history and traditions. "Our cities are built with a deep respect for nature," she said, pointing to an image of a city integrated seamlessly into a forest. "We believe in living harmoniously with our environment." The students listened intently, their initial hesitation melting away as Astra's passion shone through. Jake and Lily nodded approvingly, while Mara's expression softened, though she remained guarded. After the presentation, Astra opened the floor for questions. Hands shot up, and she called on a boy in the front row. "What's the most surprising thing you've learned about Earth so far?" he asked. Astra smiled. "Honestly, how diverse and rich your cultures are. Every day I learn something new, and it's fascinating." The questions continued, ranging from scientific inquiries about interstellar travel to light-hearted queries about Earth food. Astra answered each one thoughtfully, enjoying the interaction. As the meeting drew to a close, Jake and Lily helped Astra pack up her equipment. Mara lingered near the door, seemingly conflicted. Finally, she approached Astra, her usual bravado replaced by uncertainty. "Astra, can I talk to you for a moment?" Mara asked. "Of course," Astra replied, curious about the sudden change in Mara's demeanor. Mara glanced around to make sure they were alone. "Look, I know I've been harsh. It's just, I'm not used to all this, but I want to help. I've noticed some strange things around school, and I think you might be in danger." Astra's eyes widened. "What do you mean?" Mara took a deep breath. "There's been someone watching you. I don't know who they are, but they're definitely not from around here." Astra's mind raced as she recalled the mysterious figure she had seen. Thank you for telling me, Mara. I appreciate your concern. Let's work together to figure this out. That evening, Astra, Jake, and Mara gathered at Jake's house to discuss their next steps. They sat around a table cluttered with notebooks, printouts, and Jake's laptop. We need to find out who this person is and what they're up to, Jake said, his brow furrowed in concentration. Mara, you said you've seen them a few times. Can you describe them? Mara nodded. They're always in a maintenance uniform, but something about them doesn't add up. They move too smoothly, almost like they're not entirely human. Astra exchanged a worried glance with Jake. I've seen them too. They're definitely watching me. Jake pulled up surveillance footage from the school's security cameras. Let's see if we can spot them. They spent the next hour combing through the footage, pausing and rewinding to catch glimpses of the mysterious figure. Finally, they found a clear shot, a person in a maintenance uniform, their features partially obscured by a hat. That's them, Mara confirmed. They're always lurking around, especially when you're nearby, Astra. Astra felt a chill run down her spine. We need to tell Principal Clark. He needs to know about this. The next day, Astra, Jake, and Mara went to Principal Clark's office, armed with their findings. Principal Clark listened intently as they explained the situation and showed him the footage. This is serious, Principal Clark said, his expression grave. I'll increase security and look into this immediately. In the meantime, you three need to stay vigilant. Feeling a mix of relief and unease, Astra thanked Principal Clark. As they left his office, Mara turned to Astra. I'm sorry for how I've treated you, Mara said, her voice sincere. I guess I was scared of what I didn't understand. Astra smiled warmly. It's okay, Mara. We're all learning. I'm glad we can work together. Over the next few days, Astra, Jake, and Mara kept a close eye on their surroundings. They attended classes, participated in club activities, and tried to act normal, but the sense of being watched never fully left them. One afternoon, while heading to the library, Astra spotted the figure again. This time, she was determined not to lose sight of them. Signaling to Jake and Mara, she followed the person down a series of hallways and into a rarely used part of the school. The figure disappeared into a maintenance closet. Astra, her heart pounding, approached the door. She motioned for Jake and Mara to stay back and carefully opened the door crack, peering inside. To her surprise, the closet was empty except for a strange device humming with energy. Astra stepped inside, examining it closely. Guys, you need to see this, she whispered. Jake and Mara joined her, eyes widening at the sight. What is it? Jake asked. Astra shook her head. I don't know, but it's definitely not human technology. We need to figure out what it does. They carefully documented the device, taking pictures and noting its features. Astra's communicator buzzed, and she glanced at the message. It was from her father. Be careful. Trust no one. The gravity of the situation settled over them. They had stumbled upon something much bigger than they had anticipated. As they left the closet, Astra's determination grew stronger. She had to protect her friends and uncover the truth, no matter the cost. As they walked back to the main part of the school, Mara spoke up. I think we need help. Someone who understands this kind of technology. Astra nodded. Agreed, but who? Jake's eyes lit up. I know someone. My uncle works at a tech company. He might be able to help us. With a plan in place, they decided to meet that evening at Jake's house to discuss their next move. As they parted ways, Astra couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. The stakes were higher than ever, and they had to stay one step ahead of whoever was behind this. That night, at Jake's house, they gathered around the table again, this time with Jake's uncle, a tech expert named Tom. He examined the photos and notes they had taken. This is advanced technology, Tom said, his tone serious. I can try to analyze it, but it'll take some time. Astra felt a surge of hope. Thank you, Tom. We need to know what we're dealing with. Tom nodded. I'll do my best. In the meantime, stay vigilant and keep an eye out for anything unusual. The hidden device in the school's basement glowed faintly, its alien design both intricate and intimidating. Astra, Jake, and Mara stood around it, a mix of determination and apprehension in their expressions. Astra knelt down, her fingers tracing the unfamiliar symbols etched into its surface. "This technology is definitely not from my home planet," Astra said, her voice steady but tense. "It's something else entirely." Jake glanced around nervously. "We need to figure out what this thing does before it's too late." Mara, usually combative, now wore a look of grim resolve. "If it's here to cause trouble, we need to stop it." Astra nodded, standing up and facing her friends. "We should inform Principal Clark and the authorities immediately. They need to know what we found." They hurried out of the basement and found Principal Clark in his office, discussing security measures with a couple of teachers. The urgency in Astra's voice when she explained their discovery immediately caught his attention. "Show me," Principal Clark said, rising from his chair. Back in the basement, the principal examined the device with a serious expression. "This is beyond anything we've dealt with. I'll contact the authorities right away. In the meantime, we need to keep everyone away from this area." The announcement of a special assembly echoed through the school. Students gathered in the auditorium, buzzing with curiosity and concern. Astra stood on the stage, flanked by Jake and Mara. She took a deep breath and began her presentation, sharing stories about her home planet, the advancements, the culture, and the struggles her people had faced. The audience was captivated, some moved by the similarities between their worlds, others awed by the differences. During the Q&A session, a student raised a hand. "Astra, we heard there's something dangerous found in the school." "Is it true?" Astra's heart pounded, but she met the student's gaze calmly. "Yes, it's true, but we're working to ensure everyone's safety. It's a piece of alien technology that doesn't belong here, and we're doing everything we can to understand and neutralize it." Just as she finished speaking, the gym doors swung open, and a man in a maintenance uniform entered. His presence sent a chill down Astra's spine. The room fell silent as the man approached the stage. "I believe I can explain," he said, his voice smooth and confident. "My name is Agent Gray. I'm part of an interplanetary security task force." The tension in the room escalated. Principal Clark stepped forward, addressing the agent. "What is the meaning of this, Agent Gray?" Gray's expression was unreadable. "The device you found is a disruptor, designed to create chaos and distrust between your species and Astra's. It was planted by a rogue faction that opposes our diplomatic efforts." The revelation caused a stir among the students and teachers. Principal Clark quickly restored order. "We need to secure the device and ensure it can't harm anyone." Astra, Jake, and Mara exchanged determined looks. "We can help," Jake said, stepping forward. "We've already started figuring out the device. Let us assist in disabling it." Agent Gray nodded. "Very well. But be cautious. This technology is volatile." Back in the basement, the group gathered around the disruptor. Agent Gray provided guidance while Astra, with her advanced understanding of alien technology, took the lead. Jake and Mara assisted, their earlier tensions set aside as they worked together. "This symbol here," Astra pointed out, "it's a failsafe. If we trigger it, the device will deactivate." Jake looked skeptical. "Are you sure?" "Positive," Astra replied, her confidence unwavering. Mara's eyes narrowed as she studied the device. "But how do we trigger it without setting off any traps?" Agent Gray stepped in. "Leave that to me." He carefully manipulated a series of controls, his movements precise and calculated. The device hummed loudly, the glow intensifying before abruptly dimming. Silence followed, the only sound their collective sigh of relief. "It's done," Agent Gray confirmed. "The disruptor is neutralized." Back in the auditorium, the news was announced. The students cheered, the relief palpable. Astra, Jake, and Mara were hailed as heroes, their efforts acknowledged and appreciated. As the crowd dispersed, Astra turned to her friends. "Thank you both. We did this together." Jake grinned. "Guess we make a pretty good team." Mara nodded, a rare smile on her face. "You're not so bad, Astra. Maybe this whole cultural exchange thing isn't a disaster after all." That evening, as Astra sat in her room, Her communicator buzzed again. She picked it up, her heart skipping a beat at the message. This is just the beginning. Stay vigilant.